Today we're going to work on a fine motor and accounting activity that goes along with our theme of Let's Move It, where we've been looking at some simple machines that make our life easier. And again, we've been concentrating on a lot of construction machines. So a dump truck is a machine that helps make moving things a lot easier by being able to drive materials where they need to go and then dumping them out instead of humans needing to shovel them out. So I have my dump truck and I have some cool rocks that I'm going to lay down. Okay, so there's a couple variations on what you can do with this activity. You can use kitchen tongs, or I have a chip clip that's also a magnet that could be really good to use. We're going to work on your child picking up the rock with this and placing it in the dump truck. So with the chip clip, it can add a little bit more difficulty and help strengthen their hands. With the tongs, the same thing. It's a little bit easier, so you might want to start with these for them to be able to grab the rock and put it in. Or you could use a spoon, have them place them in a bowl. It'll be easier than doing it off of the table, and scoop and pour in. And this is especially good for kiddos that are working on those spoon and feeding goals. It's a good way to practice the skill of scooping, and you can have them hold the spoon in a functional way, or they can still hold it like this if they still need that help and arm movement to scoop. So you can work on just scooping the rocks into the dump truck and then dump them out. Or to add a little bit more, you can write numbers on pieces of paper, like a Post-it note, and put them in the back of the truck. So this one says 5. So we are going to use our chip clip, and I'm going to put 5 rocks in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So once I have my 5 rocks, you can have your child drive their dump truck to a certain spot and then dump the rocks and come back for another load. And you can switch the number out to another number, like 7. So just remember, we've learned the numbers from 0 until 16. We just learned 16 this week. So you can focus on those numbers. And of course, if your child can count higher than that, you can put any number you want on here that they do know. All right, I hope you guys enjoy this play and fine motor activity. Today, we are going to do a cool sensory art project. For this art project, you are going to need some foaming shaving cream. You cannot use the gel shaving cream with this. You need the foaming one. You'll also need some glue and food coloring, and you can pick whatever colors you want to make. So we are going to make our paint. In our cup, we're going to put equal amounts of glue and equal amounts of shaving cream. And just so you can see, you don't need to mix a lot to make a decent amount of paint. So I have a little bit of glue in here. I'm going to add our shaving cream. Try to get it just about equal. Okay, it's a little hard since it's so foamy. Now I've already made the color green, so I am going to make a pink. So I'm going to add red, but just not a lot of red so that it stays nice and light. So I did 2 drops of red. I'm going to start mixing with a paintbrush, our mixture. It's a nice light pink. Take a look. You can see it's all foamy. So once the color is all spread out and you've mixed it a little bit, you are ready to paint. So you'll see here I have some green and I have some pink. So I'm going to make a watermelon. We'll start with the pink. So when you're using this shaving cream paint, you want to make sure that you're putting it on nice and thick. Okay? And it is okay for your child to use their fingers to paint. Just make sure that they don't put it in their mouths, since shaving cream is not non-toxic. So you'll want to make sure if they put it on their hands that they don't put it in their mouth, and you wash their hands afterwards. So I'm making a semicircle on my paper. So I started out thin, but I want to make sure I add it and make it nice and thick so that it dries nice and puffy. Now once you complete your painting, it doesn't take too long to dry. My first painting I did only took about an hour to dry, which I think is pretty good. So now I'm going to add the watermelon rind with my green. Now this paint is kind of one-time use, so you don't want to make too much because you can't really store it too well and too easily, since it's made of the shaving cream and the glue. It starts to break down after some time. So here's our watermelon rind going up. Let's see if I can add a little bit more. If not, no big deal. So there you have our watermelon. Now leave it to dry, and I recommend letting it dry on top of a paper towel or on top of a counter that you can easily wipe in case anything leaks through the back. Once it dries, you'll see I made a nice heart earlier. When you touch it, it's actually very puffy and soft. It feels really cool. It's a fun texture for the kids to touch. Okay, so you'll be able to hang this up and enjoy it. You can even make different colors and make like a color sensory block wall. You can try and work on handwriting and have the kiddos painting different letters, writing their name, or you can just make a cool picture like I did. Hi everyone, today we are going to do another science experiment, and with the science experiment we're going to need a couple of things. We are going to need 1 cup of white vinegar, some baking soda, a measuring spoon. I am using a 1/4 teaspoon, a tall clear glass, and today I'm going to be using popcorn kernels. You can also use grapes, which I have in the bottom of this glass, which we'll also look at. So this experiment is called dancing popcorn or dancing grapes. This experiment is really good for kiddos who love to be able to watch things, similar to the lava lamp video I did a couple weeks ago. So what we're going to do is you're going to take your tall see-through glass. You can also use an empty bottle or anything that you have as long as you can see through it. We're going to put in 1 cup of white vinegar. Okay. I'm then going to add a few of the popcorn kernels. And you'll see they sink to the bottom. I then am going to take a 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda and add it in. You don't want to add too much baking soda, otherwise it will make your mixture overflow. So just a little bit of the baking soda, and you can see it's starting to fizz. Now, give it a couple seconds to start clearing up, and once it clears up, you're going to see that the popcorn kernels are going to be dancing up and down in the glass. So see, you can start seeing some of them are at the top. And they start to drop one by one, and they'll come back up and go down. And this will go on for quite a few minutes as the water starts to clear up more and more. It's really fun to watch. It can also be a very calming and relaxing activity for your child to be able to watch the popcorn kernels go up and down. Now, if you don't have popcorn kernels, you can use other objects. I have some grapes in this cup, so let's see how the grapes do. I'm sure that you can also find other objects in the kitchen that you can try this with. It might actually be very fun if you set up multiple glasses and you and your family can pick different objects, whether they be food or even tiny light toys, just to see what this will work with and what you can make dance. So you see there goes the grape starting to go up to the top. So I hope you guys can enjoy this and try it at home, and we'd love to hear how it went.